At this time, we're going to get started with the layout of the piano. This is very important to understand just how easy it is to see the whole piano laid out. It's really pretty unbelievable when you look at it in this organized fashion. As you can see, the piano is made up of groups of 2 and 3 black notes. And I want you to look right now. You'll see 2 and 3, and then 2 and 3, 2 and 3. They're repeating themselves all over the piano. So that group of 2 and 3 are just actually being moved to different positions all over the piano. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the very middle group, okay? And the reason we're looking at the middle because it's around our very important note of middle C. Okay, so you take this first one here, first group of 2, second group of 3, okay? Now, this group of 2 here should be hitting right about in the middle of your body because this next note to the left, this note here is middle C. That should line up directly to the center of your body when you're sitting at the piano. And a lot of times it will appear over the logo of the piano, or on an electric piano you might see a situation where you'll have a certain knob or dial. You'll be able to clearly see that the middle of the piano, and this is the middle C, okay? And that will adjust where you're going to sit at the piano, and will always be where you'll be making all your motions with your arms and your hands, not your body, okay? So keep centered. Now, we're going to take this note here to the left side of the 2 black notes. That's a C. I want you to find all the C's in the piano. We go up to the next one. That's an octave higher because it's 8 notes higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, left side of the 2 black is a C. Left side of the 2 black is a C. Down below, left side of the 2 black is a C. Left side of the 2 black is a C. Okay? Now we're going to look at the next note. The next note, it sits in the middle of the 2 black notes, and that's a D. I want you to find all the D's in the piano. And then the next note is going to be E, and you want to use it in relationship to the 2 black notes. So it's sitting on the right side of the 2 black notes. That's the E, and you want to put that to memory. And then the next note is going to be F. So you know we're going up the alphabet. C, D, E, F. And that's coming to the left side of the 3 black notes. And all the F's will be sitting that same position throughout the piano. Then the next note is going to be G. That's sitting in the middle of the 3 black notes to the left side, okay? And that's going to be... And then we have the next note is going to be A. Now, it's not going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, okay? We're looking right now, that musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it repeats itself. So the next note is going to be A, and that sits on the right side of inside the 3 black notes, and A. And then the next note is going to be B, and that sits on the right side after the 3 black notes, okay? On the outside, right outer edge of the 3 black notes, and that's a B. Now, those 7 notes are going to make up the whole piano. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Same thing. All over the piano. So you have this little group of 7 notes that's repeating itself, and it's played all over the piano. It's great. So this is something you really want to pay extra attention to, because once you know those 7 notes and you know where they are, you virtually can find every note on the piano. And by learning them this way, students very quickly, often within the first few minutes, I can point to a note, and they'll know that's a D, and know that's an E. They'll know the notes, okay, just from this little brief viewing. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the treble clef now. The treble clef is predominantly where your right hand is going to function and play. We're going to have, it's made up of 5 lines and 4 spaces. It also has a G clef or treble clef. Now, what the treble clef or G clef, there's 2 words for that. And the G clef would be that the end of the squiggle on the G clef ends on the G line. Okay, that's where the name was derived from, the G clef. This is something that's very important to understand E, G, B, D, F, and F, A, C, C, E. We'll go over that in a minute. But before we do, I want you to look very closely around now at the notes below the treble clef in the staff. Staff is what it's called when you have the 5 lines and the 4 spaces in a series like this, okay? It's referred to as a staff, okay? Now, below the staff, on its own little line is middle C, and that's in the middle of the body where it appears in the middle of the piano, okay? And that's always going to be where everything is written away from that. So you got to remember, as the notes get higher in the music, they're getting higher away from that middle C, okay? The next note higher is going to be the D, and that sits right between the two black notes on the piano, right next to middle C, and that's just below the first line on the treble clef, okay? And then we have the note below C, and it sits just below its own little line, and that's the B, okay? And that sits just below. So you want to memorize the C, the D, and the B. Those are the three notes that sit below the staff, okay? Now, let's look at the lines. E, G, B, D, F. And for history, you know, in music teaching, and you know, for many, many years, I've been always had fun with, especially with the kids, teaching them the E, G, B, D, F, and they come up with their own little sayings. But the most common one is, every good boy does fine, every good boy deserves fudge. Another one, empty garbage before dad flips. One little girl one time said, every girl buys designer fashions. So it's, but you know, you can have fun with coming up with your own saying, but most importantly, you want to memorize those lines, okay? I look at the F one as being the farthest one away, the B being in the between, in the middle. The E is the easy one, way down low, okay? Easy to remember. And then the spaces, let me show you first. For the E, G, B, D, F, look at this. It's basically above the C, it's E, G, B, D, F, and that sits above the middle C. Now the spaces, F, A, C, E, sits here. F, A, C, E, again, above the middle C. The middle C is here, so it's above, you see? So it's real important to understand the lines in the spaces. Now we're going to go right now onto the reading B through G page. This is an opportunity for you to see these notes in action, okay? Let's take a look at this piece of music, and you're going to see sometimes C major 7. What major 7 means, it's a chord type. It's called a suffix. We're going to not play the suffix. We're only going to play the letter. So you're going to play just the C in the left hand. When you see C/E, it's a C chord, but the slash, I want you to use the word but. And that would tell you, but we want E in the left hand instead of the C, okay? So anything you see with a slash chord, you're always going to play that left-hand letter that comes after the slash in the left hand, okay? And you can play these letters as low as you want, anywhere you want, okay? And we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 beats empty, and a half note is 2 beats. Each of these bars or measures, that's what they're called, separated by these bar lines, are going to get 4 beats. So here we go. We're going to get right on it. C/E, we're going to put an E in the left hand. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And you can use any fingering you'd like here. Now the fingering, it's not often found in this kind of music, fake books in contemporary kind of music where you're dealing with chords and melodies. But I'm putting it here just to get you up and going. Thumb's always going to be 1, 2, middle finger 3, 4th, and the pinky's 5. Both hands. That's the numeral, how the numerals work in your hands. And let me play a little bit of this for you now, and show you a little bit what you can do later on with this. Okay? So watch this. There you have it. It's just using some patterns, a little bit of improvisation, and a tad of some textures and colors of other white notes that work. It's great. Now, lastly, we're going to look now at sight reading, neighboring notes using second intervals. Second intervals are the small intervals. They're the next note higher or lower. And often, the way I develop this page, often I'd have students that would say, every time they read a note, they'd be sitting there counting up again. I'm like, you don't have to count. It's the next note higher or lower. Okay, so with that said, we're going to look at this, and you'll be amazed at how fast you can be able to read this page. You won't even know what notes you're reading. And so by just using the starting point here, you'll be able to play each of these lines. Starting off with middle C with the thumb, here we go. Up, higher, lower, lower, higher, 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 lower, higher, lower, 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 higher, stay the same. Then the next one starts on G. Okay. Higher, lower, higher, higher, lower, higher, lower, lower, higher, 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 lower, higher, lower, lower, stay the same. Okay. You see the notes stay the same there. Okay. Then we go the third finger starting on FAC. You get the starting point. Here we go. Higher, lower, lower, higher, 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 stay the same. Lower, higher, lower, lower, higher, lower, lower, higher. Last one, starting on the FACE, third finger. Higher, higher, lower, 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 higher, lower, higher, higher, lower, higher, 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 stay the same. Lastly, we're starting on that note that sits just above the top line, which the top line is F. We're going to be looking at A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, here we go. Lower, 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 higher, lower, higher, lower, lower, higher, 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 lower, lower, stay the same. Hope you've enjoyed a display of all these important fundamentals. This is going to get us up and going on the piano. And do the very best to really respect this. This is a very important part of our studies. And you're learning the layout of the piano. You're learning lines and spaces. And some interval reading here, using intervals of seconds, which makes reading very quick and effortless. Okay? Enjoy.